On this episode of 55 Plus No Limits, we give you an exclusive interview with two of our members who give us the scoop on healthy aging. Plus, catch our segment on the visit from Rhode Island EMA. All this on 55 Plus No Limits. Hello, my name is David Carolla, Acting Director for the Department of Cranston Senior Services here in the city of Cranston, and I want to welcome all of you to this edition of 55 Plus No Limits. Hello, Dave again here. We're in our theater room, state-of-the-art theater room here at Cranston Senior Services. I do want to remind you that every other Tuesday at 1 p.m., you're more than welcome to come and watch a free movie with us. Have you ever given the thought of how to make it past 100 years of age? That's a lot of birthdays, a lot of cake. I feel fat already. Well, we're going to find out just that. We are going to interview two of our Cranston Senior Center members who are past 100 years. Helen and Mary. Hope you enjoy it.
My name is Helen Rathbun.
I'm Mary Scorpio.
My ancestors came over to the United States from England in the 1600s, right after the Mayflower. And they arrived in Dorchester, Massachusetts. They stayed there for a little while, and they heard that the Block Island was for sale. And they pooled their money and bought the island. And Mr. Rathbun got a piece of land in Block Island. I was born May 9th, 1914. My house is on, where I was born, is Oaklawn Avenue, and beside it was a cemetery, and the other side was my uncle and aunt and my cousin, and that's all I had to play with as a youngster. Then I went to work at the Cranston School Department. I worked in the office of the Bridge School for a while, and then I worked with the truant officer. And I was there for 36 years. And I retired in 1981. And then I joined the Cranston Senior Center, and I've been volunteering ever since.
My mom came from Czechoslovakia, and when she was 15, and she landed in Staten Island. And my dad came in from Poland, and he also came in on a boat and landed in Staten Island. And when my father first came and settled, I have no idea. But my mom went to Oxford, Mass. For a while. Then she found work. She found that she could get a little bit more money in Providence, so she came into Providence. Then she found out she could get more money in Crompton, that was in Coventry, and she moved there. And while she lived in an apartment there with 3 other ladies, she met my father because one of the ladies was a sister of my father's. My mom had 11 children.
Oh my gosh.
There were 5 boys and we were 6 girls. I was just in the middle. And my mom always was a home worker. She had more than ever to do around the family. And my dad worked in the mill. He worked in the Quidnick mill. It's the Hirsch chemical now.
Yeah.
And the houses are all down. None of the houses are there now. And we lived there until I was about 8 years old. My mom and dad bought their own place. They had bought 2 houses on 1 acre of land. That's where where I was brought up until I moved into Cranston. I worked for General Electric for 26 years and then retired. I retired at 62 and joined and volunteer work ever since. I've been doing ceramics in Knightsville, and from Knightsville, we had moved to Rawl Street, and from Rawl Street we moved over here, where they first built the place.
So you both were here when it first opened here?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was a long time.
I know I have pictures of the place when they first opened.
Well, I think we just need to take day at a time. And I think we have to keep calm. And as far as medication or whatever, my father never saw a doctor. And he lived to be 102, so I have the gene.
I think hard work, working all the time, volunteering. I had volunteered right away when I retired, and I think that has a lot to do with your living longer and eating. I really eat a lot of vegetables and have the fruit. I do not like red meat really. And I have a lot of chicken and and fish. I know every time I go out, it's always ordering fish.
Studied piano as a child, and then I studied organ. I was there for 5 years on the organ. I had 2 teachers, one from Matheson Street Church, and one from All Saints Church. And then I got a job, which is easy at that time. Right now, there are oodles of jobs and no organist. It's sad, very sad. I played 50 years at Norwood Baptist, plus other places. I played in Episcopal Church, I played in Presbyterian Church. It was a good godsend because I got money for it, and I could attend church at the same time, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Brothers and sisters, we played together an awful lot, and we played jump rope, and we played hopscotch, and there were quite a few games that we did play, and as far as games, we played dominoes, and there wasn't too many games that we did play though, and we had a lot of things to be doing around the mini farm, because my folks planted potatoes and tomatoes and corn and all the vegetables. We had them. We had put them up in jars and put them away for the winter time. We very seldom went out to buy anything because my dad raised. We had 3 cows, and we had the milk for ourselves. And my mom made cheese, and my dad did the plowing, and he worked in the mill, and he didn't like that, and he had bought woods. We had bought 68 acres of land, and he and my brothers chopped the wood, sawed it, brought it home, and had it cut and sold that, and so it was a mini farm that that I grew up in.
I believe that the family life at the kitchen table is the most wonderful thing there is, and we don't see that anywhere today. The kids come in and grab a hunk of something and go out and see what you got. If you don't like it, they go out and forget about the meal. We need to eat good food. We need to get long sleep, enough, whatever you require. Some people require more than others. And a lot of exercise, and have some fun together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the family life is separated. I'd see my great-grandchildren coming in, running around, and there's nothing to pull them together. We used to sit at the table, and my kids, when they went to work, would tell us everything that happened, even though it was a secret. Because my daughter worked for a lawyer. And, you know, things would impress her and impress us too. And I enjoyed that so much that, you know, and now I see the family life just falling apart.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with what Helen has to say also, you know. It seems as though today the children come in and they will talk a little of what has been going on, but it's holidays when we all seem to get together, and then you'll speak. Each one has their little stories to tell, but people aren't as close as they used to be, and I think the holidays. I know I look forward to holidays that you can get together and you're happy to see somebody. Right now, there's only 3 of us left from 11 children my mom had. I'm the oldest one, and the youngest one is 90. So I appreciate when we get together.
What are the benefits of coming to the center?
Well, I know, I feel that I have friends here, and I feel, well, I'll come to the center and see my friends, do my thing, and I feel so much happy about it that I can come here, and it's a place where you meet friends, and I really, I know I enjoy it very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy coming here too, although I don't have associations like you do in the dining room. I enjoy working with the social workers, and I enjoy getting out of the house, to tell you the truth, because I'm there alone, more or less. My kids come when I need them, and I try to keep that as little as possible. But there are times when they have to come and take me somewhere because I can't drive anymore. As far as coming here, there's much be offered. The people here are nice, very nice people, and I would recommend it to anybody. Unfortunately, I hear outside, I don't want to associate with those old people, and I think that's wrong, because they're old too.
Yeah.
And they don't want to recognize that they are old, and we are old, and we might as well recognize it, because we have to compete with the people of our own age. And by coming here, they can do that very easily.
Hello, trying to put this puzzle together. I'm going to see if there's an app for it, so I can just hurry up. So the way to go is fish and chicken. I didn't know that. So if you eat enough fish and chicken, you will live up to 100 years of age. Now, going on into a serious topic, have you ever thought how to prepare in the case of a man-made or a natural disaster? Well, in our next segment, we are going to see how you can do that. Our Rhode Island EMA, which is the Emergency Management Agency for the state of Rhode Island, will tell us how. Let's pay attention.
First of all, on behalf of the Cranston Senior Center, our EMA Director, Fire Chief Bill McKenna, Acting Director Dave PR, we're proud to be here today, all of our staff, to welcome all of you, particularly Director Fogarty and Director Gaynor, to thank Rhode Island EMA, Cranston EMA for working together along with Cranston Senior Services for putting and hosting this significant event. And this event has not only many Cranston residents, but many other community partners as well, many who are at the table. In fact, even through Our neighbor across the way from Johnson, and I'm proud to see, our Deputy Chief Perillo who's here. Thank you, Chief, for being here. But as you see, this is an important initiative that impacts so many lives in all walks and neighborhoods throughout Rhode Island. And it's crucial. It's crucial for all of us to gather information and develop a plan ahead of time, like we were doing here today, before the next major storm or disaster hits. And as you all know, Cranston has a significant senior population in the state in terms of the average age of the population. But what you might not know, too, is so does Rhode Island. It follows in comparison to what you see across the country and having one of the highest senior populations by age in the state. So one of the most important issues for all of us, particularly my administration, is the safety of our residents in Cranston, but also the safety of all of our residents and seniors all throughout the state of Rhode Island.
Thank you very much, Mayor Fung. It's a pleasure to be here in the great city of Cranston, which has such a strong reputation statewide for providing excellent services to its senior population. I've been to the Cranston Senior Center on many occasions in many different roles, and I'm always impressed with how many activities are going on virtually 24 hours a day. And I think that's a credit to the citizenry of this great city. So it's not a surprise that partnering with the Emergency Management Agency under the leadership of Peter Gaynor, we're having this first seminar on senior storm preparedness. And I guess, Peter, thank you for allowing the weather to cooperate so that we'll be getting a head start over Saturday's storm. But as all of you know, and the Mayor mentioned, we do have one of the highest senior populations in the state, and in the country rather. In fact, we are number one for percent of the population of seniors 85 and over. So being prepared is essential, whether you are living in your own home, senior housing, or in some type of community living. Having that plan and information ready for when there's a storm or some kind of natural disaster or other disaster will be important for helping you get through that with the minimum disruption.
We cannot predict when disasters or emergencies will strike, but we can work to make sure that all Rhode Islanders are prepared. Everyone should be prepared and have emergency resources available in the event of a disaster. Being prepared may sound like an overwhelming task, but it doesn't have to be. Follow 3 steps to get started. Make a kit, make a plan, and stay informed. Make a kit. A disaster supply kit should provide a collection of basic items that household members may need in the event of a disaster. A disaster supply kit can be used in your home if there's an extended power outage, or it could be used if you have to leave your home and go to a shelter. Start getting your kit together today. Visit www.riema.ri.gov to download a disaster supply kit checklist to help you get started. Once you have gathered all of your disaster kit supplies, it is important to store them properly so they are safe to use when you need them. Follow these tips to help keep your supplies safe and ready to use. Keep canned foods in a cool, dry place. Throw out any canned goods that become swollen, dented, or corroded. Keep boxed foods in tightly sealed plastic or metal containers. This protects the boxed foods from pests and extends its shelf life. Change stored food and water supplies every 6 months. Write the date that you store items on the containers. Twice a year, check your disaster kit and make sure all items are in good working order. At the same time, check to see if there are any new items that need to be added to the disaster kit. Put all of your supplies in 1 or 2 easy-to-carry containers like a backpack, duffel bag, or a suitcase with wheels. Consider making disaster kits for work and for the car. Make a plan. Emergency plans can help to make sure you keep in contact with important family and friends. Create and practice a family communications plan in case you are separated during an emergency. Select a family meeting spot where everyone can go in case you are separated. Make sure all family members have an emergency contact list. The contact list should include a friend or family member that lives out of state, as it may be easier to make a non-local call after an emergency. Learn where your city or town's shelter is located and how to get there. The Cranston Senior Enrichment Center is a designated emergency shelter. To help you and your family stay in touch with one another during an emergency or disaster, visit www.riema.ri.gov to download and fill out their family emergency communications plan. Stay informed. Reliable, accurate information is an essential resource before, during, and after an emergency or disaster. Ask officials about your city or town's emergency plan. Identify potential hazards in your own community and learn about when they can happen. Follow Governor Gina Raimondo on Facebook or Twitter, and follow the Rhode Island EMA on Facebook or Twitter.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. Appreciate your time. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us for this episode of 55 Plus No Limits. We'll see you next month. David Carolla. Bye-bye.